What's up, everybody? Welcome back to IGN Game Scoop. This is the last day of E3 2013 and the final Game Scoop coming to you from the show floor. I'm Damon Hatfield. This is Steve Butts, Ryan McCaffrey, and Sam Claiborne.
Hey, everyone.
Now, IGN's official E3 awards will be coming next week. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Let's digest first.
Yeah. But I think we can start talking about it and start talking about who won this year's E3. Steve, maybe we'll start with you. How did Sony do this year?
I think Sony did a phenomenal job at E3 this year. Everybody has to agree on this. It's an objective fact. No.
At a conference. Maybe not at the whole E3.
Well, no, I think they did a really good job at E3 as well. They had an excellent showing at the conference. They showed a lot of great games from core franchises. They showed some new indie developed games, which I thought were really incredible. I played Octodad. That was a lot of fun. They also announced a service plan that I think went right for the things that people were aggrieved with Microsoft with regard to DRM, loaning games, always online, things like that. And their controller, let's face it, is finally a real controller. It's not some ancient torture device. Like, it's a real thing that you can hold in your hand and it feels good. So for me, Sony won.
I got to hold the controller. I like it a lot, and I was not into the PS3 controller at all. But Ryan, Microsoft still had a really good conference, right?
They did. And by the way, I found it odd that Sony managed to somehow say it's going to be $60 a year for multiplayer, and no one seemed to notice.
But I heard some
but it's that way
too.
with Microsoft right now.
Yeah. But well, that's the thing, is it's no longer free. But yeah, Microsoft had a great conference. They came out and there was no demos with like in EA, it was just all the demos at the press conference were just cheeky banter. Whereas Microsoft, they got down to business, like game, here we go. And Titanfall is, I think, my game of the show right now. I've got a couple things left to see that are sort of high on the list, but Titanfall is amazing.
That's an Xbox One exclusive?
It'll be coming to 360 and PC as well, so let's call it anti-Sony exclusive, I guess, for lack of a better term,
right? The one thing that I think Sony didn't do for me was say Titanfall is also coming to the system.
Yeah, Titanfall made me never want to play Call of Duty again.
Wow.
I mean, it was, and I'm not, no hyperbole, it was that good. And then Quantum Break looked fantastic. That one's still a ways out, but it looked great.
Do you know, maybe this isn't the time to get into this, but how does it work with the live-action episodic television stuff?
So from what I could gather from the behind closed doors demo is it's sort of all lumped together. You'll play through a part of the game that will then unlock an episode of the show, so that you're not like watching all of the show and getting like sort of out of place and out of order with the game. So it is going to be tied together. And I asked, well, can I watch the show later on my tablet or iPhone, and they didn't really have answers for that yet. But it's an interesting experiment for sure. Even if the TV show turns out to be garbage, the game itself looks really great. And the reality is, I don't think anybody would argue with me, not only has Remedy never made a bad game, they've never not made anything but a great game between the Alan Wake and the Max Paynes.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And then Dead Rising 3 I thought was fantastic. I saw that 4 times over the course. We had it on the live show and the stage demo, and I saw it a couple other times. And it's just really fun. And there's
just to be clear, that's an Xbox One exclusive.
That is an Xbox One exclusive as well. Forza 5 is playing great. That's one that's not going to generate a lot of headlines, but it's just a great car game. It's just it was a very, very strong lineup for Xbox One, despite the fact that the $4.99 thing didn't look good by the end of the day, and obviously they're still suffering from the whole DRM problem, which who knows how that's going to end up panning out in the end. But the software lineup was fantastic.
I agree. They have a hard PR battle in the months ahead of them, but I'm impressed by the software lineup. And then, Sam, Nintendo is sort of off doing its own thing like usual.
It is. If you want to rank Nintendo on a conference appearance, they didn't have one, so we can't really do that. But they were at E3, and they were at E3 with some really, really cool games. And also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but nobody even mentioned Nintendo in the Ubisoft and
that day zero, Nintendo was not mentioned.
Right, like nobody said the words Nintendo. So it doesn't look like a lot's coming to Wii U except for the first-party games. But you know what? They brought those to the E3 in force. And I got to say, just in terms of show presence, E3 would not be as cool as it was without their amazing booth. Nintendo had a booth with, I guess their photo ops, but you could sit in a Mario Kart or you could sit in a Donkey Kong barrel. And then they had like a Wind Waker ship just completely made from floor to ceiling.
Yeah.
And everything there, like, you think they're going to pull themselves out of E3, but they worked so hard on E3, and the games were all playable except for Smash Brothers, which is annoying. But if it comes to a discussion about lineups in the future, Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, and Mario is great. I was very skeptical at first. I played 5 levels today, and I had a great time with it. They have an amazing first-party lineup. Bayonetta is really cool.
And Mega Man's back, too, right?
And Mega Man is in Smash Bros.
And you can play the Wii Fit Lady in Smash Bros.
That's
as well,
crazy.
which is like total game changer.
Way to bury the lead.
I don't think I'm going to be clamoring for a Nintendo conference in the future, but I would like them to have a live stream that maybe is playable.
That works, that we can actually tune into.
That would be nice. Nobody could watch it. It was a just complete disaster.
Well, I will say, talking about the conferences, the hour that excited me most was when EA got up there and talked about the games they were bringing. Star Wars Battlefront, Titanfall.
I thought you were joking because I just immediately thought of that Madden through FIFA or whatever.
I went to sleep a little bit. I went to sleep a little bit in the middle of it when they were talking about the sports games.
Nothing made me happier. Now, granted, no gameplay was shown, but the thing that made me happiest this entire week was the Mirror's Edge reveal trailer. I mean, that
was really big.
I'm such a fan of the original.
That AT-AT foot was pretty great too.
The Battlefront trailer was great.
Battlefront,
Mirror's Edge.
And then Ubisoft had another couple big exclusive announcements, not exclusives, but they announced a couple of games, The Division and The Crew, right?
The Crew, yeah, I played The Crew. It was real good. You literally can drive from one end of the country to the other in the game. They said it takes like 3 hours.
Which country?
North America, California to... Where are you going with that?
I just am wondering how it's a 90-hour drive.
But they said there's over 1,000 landmarks in there. The Grand Canyon, if you want to drive off into the Grand Canyon.
I think it's the country truncated.
I mean, it's hey, let's be real. But
you said literally.
I did drive. Thanks, Sam. I did drive down the Las Vegas Strip, which was fairly accurately rendered did an impromptu race. The Crew was really neat. But yes, The Division was the best thing to come out of Ubisoft.
Now
I think it was one of those things like last year, like Watch Dogs was. Like you didn't expect it.
Correct.
Here it is. Holy crap! Can this be a real thing?
Mm-hmm. Now it's not even a real game actually, but did we all get to play the
EVR?
Oculus Rift EVR demo?
Yes.
It's amazing.
Just came from there.
So good.
That's the most impressive thing I've seen this year.
It is.
So.
It's the most next-gen experience
Totally.
I had. I played Killzone, played Knack. Like those games, those could be on PS3 where they are right now, and they're really pretty games, but and the controller feels the same too. So it's like, am I playing a next-gen game? Well, no. But in this game, you put on a headset and you're playing like you're in Star Wars.
It's
like a Rogue
EVE
Squadron.
Online to just clarify for the audience, but they were specific to say it's a tech demo. It will not be. They have no plans to release it. It was sort of a side project of the guys there because they were really excited about Oculus Rift. And it's cool. I put it on and I looked down and there was. I wasn't in my own, but like it was first person, and I'm in this pilot's body.
Did you guys try to move your legs?
Yeah,
I did too. It's so dumb.
Every time I saw
was
my
doing
hands down. So another thing you can do in that is that when you aim your face around, you can actually lock on to other ships by
missile locking
looking at
by
them.
looking at your
And it's moving your neck and your eyes and everything. And I've played Oculus Rift games. I've played Hawken in it, and that's really cool. You can see the same thing, like behind you is your mech and stuff like that, like the walls of it. You can see your hands to the side. But this is a different experience. This is a flight combat game, which is in space, and that's just fun.
Yeah, and your point of view is actually another controller input, like where you aim your head. And
you could look over and see the wing of your craft. It was like Wing Commander fast forwarded to,
And it
the
wasn't
actual
jarring.
future.
There were a few things that were disorienting to me, though. As we were playing and we were sort of in a line like this, and I would look over and I would expect to see the guy next to me, and I thought, oh, wait, no, that person exists in the real world, not in the game. And then the lack of force feedback, I think, was a little disorienting for some people, right? If it could be tied to like a lazy boy that sort of tilts your body a little bit as you move your head and your controllers.
I gotta bring up too, because this one will probably go under the radar a little bit. I'm a huge South Park fan, and the behind closed doors demo of the South Park RPG called The Stick of Truth.
Right.
I saw it behind closed doors last year, and it's evolved so much. Like the gameplay systems have actually come so far in that game. It is a full-blown Paper Mario style role-playing game now, with just all the show lore and all the characters are integrated seamlessly into RPG systems, and it just all feels natural. It looks 100% exactly like the show, to the point where if someone else walks into the room and doesn't see a controller, they're going to think that is an episode of the show.
And Damon interviewed them, and Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
You didn't call me.
I'm sorry.
It was amazing to see them on the show.
They were really
live
cool,
show.
super nice.
Please
fun
check
guys.
that out.
And they're like, it's not like they just signed off on this game.
No,
like, they've been involved. It's been a daily part of their lives.
Well,
for
and
like
they
40
said
years.
daily. They work on it every day.
They wrote it. They're working on all the jokes in video game form and the timing of them. I watched your piece, and obviously when you see the game, they're voicing everything. I mean, it is It is. I wrote a big preview for IGN, which I would encourage anybody to look at, and I called it, it could possibly inherit the crown of best licensed game of all time. I mean, it's that good.
It's funny because we look at sort of all the shooters, and we joked on Monday, like, oh, look at all the shooters there are. But it's a good year for RPG fans. Not just with that, but there's The Witcher 3, which looks phenomenal. There's a new Kingdom Hearts that's announced.
And Elder Scrolls Online, actually, sat down and played for half an hour. I've been pretty uninterested in that up to date because I like Elder Scrolls how it is. I like it as a massively single player role playing game.
Sure.
But they really it visually looks. It seems like it's come a long way. It has.
They changed it so now it's first person.
Right, they added
so
and that's
big.
big.
A big difference.
Their hands.
It suddenly looked like Elder Scrolls.
I agree completely, and the fact that it's so. If I can get in there and play with 4 or 5 other friends, I mean, that goes a long way.
Right here.
Yeah.
Us.
Yeah, you guys. Let's
go play VR instead.
Yeah, I know, right? So we are about to call it a day on E3 2013. We have to tear down our set here. This has been a really exciting E3. It will be a long time, if ever, that we see an E3 that's this big.
10
again,
years,
right?
if there are next consoles,
Right?
unless it's just all in the
that's the whole
cloud
thing,
through our
yeah.
television.
So,
Yeah,
we'll have to see. Thanks a lot, guys. That is about all we have for you from E3 2013. Our E3 awards will be coming next week, so stay tuned for those. And then lots of more coverage of all the games we've seen will be coming very soon on IGN.com.
Yay.
Do we get to tear down the set?
Yep, you do.
Like a sledgehammer, like a home renovation type of.